Welcome back to another interesting tutorial about CorelDraw tips and tricks. And today's video, I will show you on how to draw different types of arrow using your CorelDraw software. Let me show you how. So the very first thing you want to do is to go ahead and make sure you navigate to your tools bar right here. So next thing you want to do is to go ahead and click on push down right here. Then make sure you go ahead and move to pen tools right here. Now on moving to pen tools, then you have something like this. Next thing you want to do is to go ahead and start to draw some of the arrow. For instance, I want to draw a straight line arrow. First thing first, click once and press Shift key on your keyboard. Click once again and press Ctrl key down, and the movement of the pen tool is cut. Next thing you want to do is to go back to the move tool. Then you have your pen tool completely draw a straight line. Now, this particular straight line right here, how do we convert it into a kind of arrow? Okay, so for that, what we want to do is that we need to make sure we convert this into some arrow. How do we do that? First of all, we can decide to increase the stroke width. So come to the top right here. I'm going to go ahead and make it 25. If I'm not satisfied with the stroke width, I can go ahead and come to the top right here and can make this something like 50 and press enter. So this is depends on how you want your arrow to look like. Now, next thing you want to do right here is to come down below right here from the pen tool property, click on it. So double click on that, and so when you double click, this is going to pop up right here. Now here, this is where you choose your arrow format. Let's say for instance, I want to add a kind of arrow for the forward. The next thing we want to do is to come to the top right here. So we have to make sure we click on end arrow. So we want to add end arrow right here. I can decide to use this type of arrow right here. Then once you are done with your format, next thing you want to do is to come down below right there, and then here make sure you kind of fill and make sure you check on the scale with object. If you scale around or object, come down below right there and hit on OK. Then you have your arrow type right there. Simple. Next thing we want to do, let's see how we draw another type of arrow in our CorelDraw. Go ahead and select your pen tools again. So I'm going to click on here now and select my pen tools. So this time around, I will start to draw a kind of curve like this, and decide to draw a curve like this. Then I decide to make it down this way. Then I decide to press Ctrl key down to cut. Now this type of arrow here, I can decide to also increase my width to be 50 or so. So having drawn the shape, I can decide to increase the width or so. And then this time around, I will select on the shape. Then I'll have to make sure I look for the width right there. Then I can make this 45, enter, and then we have it. I can decide to make it 45 and press enter. Then we have it right there. Now we have to come down below right here again, and we make sure we double click on this pen right here. And this is going to pump up. So this time around, I want to make it a kind of different style. So this time around, I can go ahead and work on this style right here. I'm going to click on style. So I can decide to make it this type of dot. So you can see it right there. Now, I can decide to change the arrow head to be from the beginning. So I'm going to click on here, and I can decide to add this type of arrow right here. You can see it right here. Then I can decide to scale behind and scale with the object. Then I can also work on the edge of the arrow. So I can decide to make it this type of smooth shape right here and hit on OK. Now we have another beautiful arrow right here. Okay. Now let's take a look at another example on how to draw different type of shape and arrow in CorelDraw. So I'm going to go ahead now and select my pen tool again. So this time around, I can decide to click once and press Shift key on my keyboard to draw another straight. Then press Ctrl key down to cut. So this time around now, we have draw another straight line. Now what we want to do here is to select the straight line. The next thing we want to do is to increase the width. So like I said, this depends on the size you are looking at. So this time around, I'm going to come to the top right here. Then I'll make sure I turn this into, I can take this to be 35 and hit enter. Now you have it right here. Okay. Next thing we want to do here is to format and get a kind of arrow that we are looking for. How do you do that? Go ahead and come down below right here. Then double click on this particular pen right here. And this is going to pump up right here. Now this time around, we can decide to use another type of arrow entirely. So let's say I want to work on the forward arrow, then we can easily scroll down right here and check on different types of arrow right here, style that we can use. So this time around, I can decide to use something like this, and then I can decide to scale with the behind object, scale with the object. Then I can decide to work on the line shape right here. Then once I'm satisfied with the line shape, then I can also make it corner curve around all the objects. I can go ahead now and click on OK. Then we have another beautiful arrow right here as far as CorelDraw arrow design, how arrow drawing is concerned. Let's take a look at another example. I'll go ahead and select my pen tool. Then I'm going to start from here this time around. Draw another arrow, and like this, then like this. So I can decide to cut the movement of my pen tool right here. Then we have another shape right here. So here we can also increase the width of this particular one that we just draw right here. Select on the shape, go ahead and make it whatever size you might think. So this time around, I'm going to try something like 60 width and enter. Then we have it right here. Then I'll come down below right there. I will double click on here. Then we have the format style right here. So here we can also adjust the meter limit right here. So now, first thing first, I'm going to make this kind of curved edge. Then I'm going to go ahead and select the type of arrow I'm looking at. So this time around, I'm looking at the hand arrow right here. So I'm going to choose something like aeroplane right here. Scale with objects and the likes. Yeah, scale with object. Then you can see. Okay, so I'm going to work on the width right here. So I can decide to reduce the width right here. Let's see, 25 right here. Then I can decide to come in here and change to something like this. I don't like this. Then I can just change to whatever type of arrow right here. So let's take a look at something like this. I think it's going to be good if we choose this to be in front. So I'm going to make it non-shape style right here. Then I'm going to make it from here, and it has to be something forward. Look at something like this, and we can use different style right here as it is. Take a look at this, and this is just a pointing. Then scale with the object and hit on OK. So I can come back here and reduce the width right here. So I'm going to select again. Then I'm going to reduce the width to something like 30, and let's see. Now we have another beautiful arrow right here. Okay. Now let's take a look at another beautiful example as far as different arrow drawing is concerned using your CorelDraw. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead now, go back to my pen tool right here. I'm going to make another straight line right here, and press Ctrl key down to cut. Next thing I'm going to do is to go back to my move tool, and I'm going to go ahead now and select my shape. Then I'll come down below right here. I will make sure I double click on this pen tool right here. Now we have the arrow property right here. Next thing I'm going to do is to use the head arrow right here. So this time around, I want to select this aeroplane right here. Then I'm going to go ahead and scale with objects and the likes. Then I'm going to go ahead and change the style to something like some of the dots right here. So I'm going to choose something like this. Then I'll go ahead and hit on OK. Now, to make this thing much visible, what we want to do here is to select on the shape again. Then I'll come to the top right here and I'll make sure I increase the weight to, let's take a look at 45, hit enter. Then we have it right there, just like what you see right there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and change the format. So for that, I'm going to select on the shape again. Then I will come down below right here. I'll make sure I double click on these pen tools. Then here we go. I'm going to go ahead and change the style right here. So we'll go ahead and make sure I look for another format as style. So I'm going to go ahead and choose something like this. And I hit on OK. Boom. So we have it right here. So this is just like aeroplane is moving right here. So you can work on this and go on and draw any type of shape or any type of arrow in CorelDraw. It's that simple. For more tutorial tips and tricks on how best to use your CorelDraw, consider to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.